Hi everybody, it's Bonkai922 here to bring you episode 5 of Binbou Gami. Whose chest is flat now? Okay, so if you don't get the idea of what that means, basically in this episode, the more or less thing going on in this episode, boiling it down. Pretty much, excuse me. We get introduced to another character in this episode. There's like all these multiple characters that are trying to help out Momoji. This one is named Toto or Toro. It's basically a sea turtle. Now, if anybody knows what a sea turtle, sea turtles live very long, and this guy is supposedly going to help out Momoji to defeat Sakura. There are, another parody, obviously, in this episode. Another Dragon Ball Z parody, I should say. So what ends on happening is he gives her, Momoji, this bag. And there's something in the bag. We don't know what it is. She's laughing. And Sakura's like looking at her saying, "Oh, what is this bitch doing now? What's she planning?" So she goes home and she sees this package on the floor near her door. And she takes it out and she opens it and she's like, "Oh, it's Brian from that. Let me open it." And she attempts to like knock on it to make sure it's not booby-trapped or anything. And she opens it and Momoji's like wearing this gas mask. It's like, now I fooled you. That's a gift I received from a turtle that is supposed to make you really old. Make you really old. Your breasts are gonna be sick, and she's gonna be like, this picture of her with a gram. The picture of, imagine Sakura, Ichiko as a grandma, old lady. But that's not what happens. Smoke clears. It's the opposite. She's not very old. She's very young. And then, Ichiko's like, she's very cute and little now, and she grabs, she grabs her sword thing that she used before. It's like, I still have this, and then she uses it once, it doesn't work, and then she uses it again to bring all the animals out, and all of them are really small. It's so ridiculous. It's so goddamn funny, this episode, and it's all small and everything, and I'm like, and then she's like, "Are you done?" And she's like, "Oh." And she ties her up. And it's like, "Come on, what's your problem, Momoji?" And then she's like, "Oh, who's the one who's small now? Who's flat now?" Actually, no difference. She says, "I'm probably you still." He's like, "Oh!" And then the teddy bear's there, and he's got these weird glasses on. He's looking at her and Sakura, back and forth, and he's like, "It's a tie." That was funny. Oh my god! Even when Sakura is a freaking kid, like a 5-year-old kid, a kindergartner, still Moji's flat. So funny. It was so funny. And then we get a scene, with her as Nappa. the freaking embarrassed Vegeta. Oh my god. In this episode, there's this thing that Momoji tells the bear, "Oh, it's because you dropped the scouter." They're referring to Scouter, like from Dragon Ball Z, and I'm like, oh my god. Eventually what happens is Momoji, while she's bickering with the bear, is able to escape. So she's able to escape, and she gets on this very tiny dragon and it's like really fucking tiny, like miniature size, and she flies on it. And eventually what happens is she gets to a park. Ichiko. She gets to a park, and she's in the park, and she, trying to think. She gets to a park, and eventually she gets found out from this other little girl, and she realizes who it is. It's one of, I forgot the guy's name. We haven't seen this guy in like forever, so I have to look up his name now. It's the guy who invited Ichiko into his house. If you guys know what I'm talking about. Let me just look it up. Oh! I don't know. Apparently, from what I'm watching here, they got the rights to this show. Funimation, so figured I'd mention that. I'm having a hard time with this, but there we go. Alright. I apologize. I'm trying to find the guy's name. Ruta. Keita, that's the guy's name, Keita. Well, not Keita, but his younger sister, Mika. She, sees this little girl, who is Ichiko, as we all know, and she says, oh, come play hide and seek with us. And she's like, okay, you know, and she's little and tiny and really, like, ridiculously small. And basically, it seems like she's going to play with them because she wants to hide in from the girl, Momoji, and the whole thing with that. Now, she plays hide and seek with them, and then she decides that she needs to hide somewhere because of her. She's going to find her, and she's going to do things and stuff, and steal her fortune and shit. So she goes with her, Mika, to her house, where Keita is and all the members of his siblings. So she goes with him, and eventually, halfway to the house, she stops. Bobby the priest and the dog. Oh my god! We see them getting asses handed to them by the girls from Ichiko's school, and they're like, "Get off me, you bird!" They're beating up on the dog, and the dog turns into a human. Oh my god! It was too much. Then Momoji said, not Momoji, what did I say? Ichiko. But her new name now is called Michiko. So she's mixed. And she tells Keita's sister, oh, go ahead, I'll catch up. And she says, I'll just walk slow. And then she's going in front of Bobby, the priest, and the dog, Momo, and saying, oh, can you find a way to chase me back? And he's like, you're not, you're some little girl with no boobs. And she does a headlock on them. He's like, this is definitely Ichiko. So she tells him that go find this other box. Because the box that she opened turned her into a little kid. And she wants now the box that's going to turn her into an adult. That's going to make her grow. So that's the whole gist of this episode. So they were all like, yes! Ah! They were like Super Saiyan now. They turned into like, they got like the energy. It was so stupid. But funny. It was really fucking funny. It was unbelievable. So basically they say, oh, anything, and then she's like, you're not thinking any pervy, are you? So then they leave. And the last time we see them like 2 more times. And you know where they are? They're in the red light district. And to the left of them, there's S and M. On the right is just sexy. Oh my god, it was so stupid. It was just, they didn't know what they were searching for half the time, so it was just so ridiculously funny. But what ends on happening is she goes to the house, and she's taken care of by Kate's family and siblings and stuff. There's a scene. I don't know who. I forgot the girl's name. The one of his sisters, the oldest sister of Kate's. But to him, it's his younger sister, but the oldest one. She fucking hates Ichiko. She does not like her at all. She thinks she's a bitch, and I think if she had her chance, she'd probably beat the shit out of her. So she's like, she's really pissed off at her. So Michiko is there now, and she's just hanging out with them, staying in their house. She sleeps there, and at one point, she gets up, and the next day, he's off, Keita. So they're going to go on a picnic and have a good time and stuff. And she's crying because she wet the bed. And she's like crying, and she's thinking to herself, I'm going to make her pay. She's going to make Momoji really pay for this one this time. And then Momoji's there, and she's like, I found you. Also, I forgot to mention, Momoji was then on the phone with the turtle and say that she needs 2 more of those boxes. One proper one that's going to turn her back to her original age, and one that's going to turn her into a little kid again. So he's like, what did he say? Oh yeah, he's like saying, I don't know how hard it took me to get this. If you don't do it, I hear that 1,000-year turtle stew is pretty damn good. So she's being very sadistic in this situation. He says, I'll do it. And then basically they're going to the picnic. And they're all on the bus and everything. Everyone's excited for the picnic and so on and so forth. Keita, I think, has a feeling that that's Ichiko. But he's not 100% sure. So that's going through his head. And moving it along, we have, they're going into the picnic, they're having a good time, so on and so forth. At one point, Ichiko, she falls down, and she's like, and he's like, helping her up and giving him her handkerchief. And she's, don't treat me like a kid! And then she pushes him, and he falls down, and she runs away. And at one point, she's in the forest, and she sees these squirrels, and we're like, oh, okay, squirrels, all right. So, but then what happens is, she sees the squirrels, and this big squirrel, and it's the bear. So Momoji's there, and she grabs her, and she's like, let me go, and stuff. And he's like, I finally found you. He's like, you get away. Yes. And then they leave. And it's just like she was waiting for her to get separated from Keita and the others. So what ends up happening is that Keita separates from his siblings. He tells his the eldest sister, among the 2 sisters, go and take them to the bus station. I'll be right there. I have to go find Momoji. I mean, not Momoji. Michiko. So he's walking around, and finally he gets to this cliff, and he sees her shoe, Michiko's shoe, and he thinks, oh, did she fall down there? He doesn't know. And he goes to the edge of the cliff, and he falls. And that's where it ends. Bit of a cliffhanger. Bit of a suspense. So it's like, wow. Of course, the next episode's going to be called My Breasts Are Smaller Than a Little Girl's. Part 2. That was the whole bit. That Momoji's chest is still smaller than Ichiko, even though she's a little kid. This one definitely gets a 4 on the hilarity meter. Another crazy, but once again, this is what I think about this show. There's comedy, zany comedy, but at the same time, it's serious. The end of the episode got really serious here. Really serious. And I was like, wow. I find it very interesting that this is supposed to be like a real comedy kind of thing going on. But at the same time, you've got this feel for seriousness. Kind of like an undertone thing going on in this show. But yeah, this was a good episode, 4 out of 5. Like I said, moving right along, this is going to get more fun. And we still see the guys, it's still in the red light district. Priest and the other guy. Now, next week's episode, obviously, we don't know what happened to Keita. So we'll have to figure that. We'll find that out, hopefully. And also, we see Momoji, and we see, I believe, Sakura, Michiko. I don't know if she's returned back to her form, but we see her anyway. But, yeah, that's basically what happened in this episode. Pretty damn good one. Very funny. I just love the parody. Oh my god, Dragon Ball Z again. It was so funny. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. The verses is getting really interesting. Itachi's. Even when I took it off, and he's like, come on. I knew this was going to happen, so yeah. But this has been Binbou Gami 922. 4 out of 5. Binbou Gami. This is getting good. This show is a definite hit. It's a hit. And it looks like Funimation, like I said before, Funimation's got the rights. They got the rights to this show, so could look interesting down the road when they dub this. It's been Binbou Gami 922. I will see you guys later.